Up is Wrestling News number 75, and we've got stories on Tough Enough and NXT, background on what's coming up with them over the next couple of months or so. We've also got stories on Wrestlemania. Who is the main event for Wrestlemania? We're about to tell you. Also on the Hall of Fame inductees for this year for the Hall of Fame for WWE. And also, we've got stories on Mystico, and we're going to do a little bit of pot smoking. Stick around. You'll see it in a minute. Here at Alternate Reality, we have always believed that kids are the future of this industry, and that's why I have the largest kids selection of any other store anywhere. Come on down to Alternate Reality, and you'll find comics and trade paperbacks on Pixar characters like Toy Story and Cars, Muppets, Disney, Simpsons, DC and Marvel characters, of course, like Tiny Titans, Scooby-Doo, Spider-Man, and Marvel superheroes. I also have a large selection of girls' comics and girls-related trade paperbacks, as well as illustrated classics and a whole lot more. Readers are leaders, so come on down to Alternate Reality with your little one and pick up some comics that both of you can enjoy.
Finally, something my dog and I can agree on. Here's Wrestling News with Comicbookman and Bo.
I've learned to expect nothing but aggravation from you anyhow.
Wrestling News, episode 75, Crash Cream.
Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video Outhouse. It's time for
Wrestling News.
Wrestling News, specifically WWE Wrestling News. And as always, we are coming to you from Alternate Reality, which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all new comics are always 15% off every day for everyone. Our first story up involves the signing of the one and only Mystico by the WWE.
Mystico, one of the biggest stars in Mexico wrestling history, was signed by the WWE. They actually went down to Mexico City and had a press conference because in Mexico, this was front page news.
If you've never heard of Mystico, you will. Well, then again, I'm saying you will. The WWE could also bury this guy.
Well, no.
But this is big news. This is big news south of the border.
If you go to the WWE website, not only do they have 10 pictures of him, they can have video. They're going to be talking about him on Raw. He's not going to developmental. He will be popping up on the main roster, probably in WrestleMania time. He won't be called Mystico because that belongs to him, and the WWE doesn't like people have their real names, so they're calling him Sin Cara, which apparently means faceless. And he is basically being groomed as the replacement for Rey Mysterio, who is getting older, a few injuries. Mystico's younger. He does all the major high-flying moves that Rey used to do. And this is a big inroads for the entire audience, the Hispanic audience.
WWE should push this really hard because this is a big deal for them. They had their chance to make inroads into Luchador with WCW, and they let that go. They had their chance then. This is their chance to actually get something going south of the border. There's a lot of great talent down there that the WWE does not do nearly enough with.
And he'll probably be on the SmackDown roster along with Mysterio and Alberto Del Rio, and the main reason they signed Mystico is because Del Rio's going over huge.
Okay. Next story up we've got involves pot smoking in the WWE. And actually, it's better than you think.
The number of wrestlers who've been busted for smoking pot is actually going down. Part of it be because if you get caught, $2,500 fine.
Well, I would have said the wellness policy.
Well, the wellness policy is crap. Actually, they said that the wrestlers are working around it. There's apparently remember that Miley Cyrus video where she was smoking that bong?
That thing, yes.
Yeah, well, that stuff, you can take that stuff and you don't fail a marijuana test.
Well, there you go.
But what's really cute about the way the WWE does this is they send the people who test you, they send you to your house.
Yes.
So you sit at home, you sit at home, no, they give you a phone call, we're going to be there in an hour.
We'll be there in an hour.
Or you get an hour to get to this red address.
Oh, I can get clean urine by then.
Well, hey, do this in this cup. Hi guys! No.
This is the WWE. I would bet being the WWE, they don't say go off into the bathroom. They stand there and they say here.
There's actually a guy who's responsible. They've got to take off their clothes all the way down to this level, and they've got to do this in front of the tester. So you can't really hide.
These are athletes who are used to locker rooms.
Right.
Okay?
So being naked is not that big a deal.
Okay. So congratulations to WWE on keeping the pot smoking down to a minimum. Next up, we got two programming stories on programs outside of the big ones that WWE does that are coming your way. First up is NXT 5.
Yes, NXT Season 5, which I guess we'll be announcing the week that we're taping this because the season for NXT 4 ends Tuesday.
Okay.
Supposedly Season 5 will involve rookies being trained by their fathers, so you may see Brett and Ted DiBiase Sr., Richie and Ricky Steamboat, and Bo and Mike Rotunda, along with other ones. I think they've got Fatu's kids in there. There's a whole bunch of other people that are second-generation wrestlers. There's also Vicky Guerrero and Eddie Guerrero's little daughter.
Okay.
So they may be popping up on the show as
Martin
well.
and Charlie Sheen?
Martin and Charlie
Martin
Sheen.
and Charlie
might be there.
Sheen, yes.
Now, of course, the problem with NXT is you can only watch it on the internet. So basically, people are going, "Oh, is that show still on the internet?"
Yeah, they're burying it on the internet. I don't know
It's
why.
on WWE. Well, because no network wanted to buy it. USA said we don't want it. So-
WWE said, "Well, we need you to take it."
Right, and well, they did, which leads us into the next story. They took Tough Enough.
Tough enough. Tough
So
enough.
it's like we can do NXT, we can do Tough Enough. Oh, I will go with Tough Enough.
And you've got news on Tough Enough scheduling and the folks who were involved in Tough Enough.
You're not going to be able to miss an episode of Tough Enough ever.
Ever?
They're going to run the show before Raw.
Before Raw.
They're going to run the show after Raw. And they're going to run the show Saturday night before AM Raw.
AM Raw.
So it's on 3 times a week. The host of the show will be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
The trainers have been announced Booker T, Trish Stratus, and the returning Bill DeMott.
Will they be Raw?
Bill DeMott.
Bill, you remember Bill
They'll be
DeMott?
Raw.
Refresh my memory.
Hugh Morris.
Oh, Hugh Morris.
Yeah.
He's back. He's one of the trainers. Now this is what's cute.
Okay.
None of the contestants on the show were allowed. Basically, they got to the house where they're shooting the show, and they said, "Hi, give me your computer, give me your cell phone. You can't talk to anybody for 7 weeks.
Woo!
You're in the house. That's it. You go out, you train, you come back, you eat in the house, we feed you, we take you places. Your family doesn't know you exist." Now,
Oh, and by the way, the camera's up there. Play
yeah, by the
for
way,
it.
the camera's up there. Play for the camera.
You're the monkey. There's the camera. Go
Now,
play
and
for it.
now, this is supposedly listed as an unscripted show. It's scripted.
Really?
Yes.
Big surprise.
Now, one of the contestants, which they've already named, is the former Miss USA,
Yes.
Rima Fakish. She is one of the contestants because you've got 6 guys and 6 women. But surprisingly, Austin Aries from Ring of Honor, a guy who knows how to wrestle, he apparently didn't get picked.
How did he not get picked for Tough Enough? And more to the point, why would he even be in Tough Enough in the first place? He's talented enough just to show up, isn't he?
He's
Why does he have to
small.
go through the Tough Enough
But
BS?
he's not really big. He's smaller. And the plan is to take people who have wrestled
Yeah.
in independence for like 3, 4, 5 years who have never been able to make it to the next level.
Yeah.
And apparently they didn't think Austin Aries was at that point, which means the process is kind of screwed up. Because you're telling me Miss USA can go on the show, but a guy who knows how to wrestle can't?
I've seen Austin Aries at TNA house shows. Not TNA. Ring of Honor house shows. Ring of Honor.
And he was
house
on. And he was in TNA.
He's
a good
damn
wrestler.
good. He's
a
damn
wrestler.
good. He's a good
Now, he's a
wrestler.
little on the small side, but most of the wrestlers you're
Well,
going to
yeah.
be signing are small. There's not a lot of big guys out there.
Okay. Last 2 stories we've got involve WrestleMania that's coming up. And the first one is the main event. This is surprising for me.
The main event of WrestleMania, in case you hadn't figured it out from watching Raw, will be The Undertaker versus Triple H.
Both of whom haven't been seen on TV in God knows how long.
I mean, they were teasing and they were promoting the fact that The Undertaker was going to pop up on that show. And then all of a sudden, as he's standing in the ring, Triple H's music came out, and he came out, and the audience went, "What the hell?" And then they did, it was really cute. You had The Rock show up the week before you did that 20, 25-minute promo.
Right.
They did a promo where they didn't say anything. They just sort of stood there. Right. They come standing there. Triple H is looking at the Undertaker. Undertaker's looking at him. They both do the Hogan Rock turn and look at the sign. Then they look back at each other. The Undertaker goes, "Ah." And then he walks away. Then he turns around and goes, "Ah." And then you're like, "Oh, I guess the
Hey.
So basically, the two of them are booking the angle on their own. You'll have Shawn Michaels probably pop up as a special guest referee. There's a rumor that this is going to be Streak versus Career again, and that Triple H would be booked to lose because he's basically about the point where he needs to wind down his.
Why would
Impact.
Undertaker lose to Triple H,
That's
who isn't
what-
wrestling anymore anyway?
So that's why you were assuming. That's why you were figuring the streak will continue, and this probably will actually be his last WrestleMania.
Then he won't lose to anybody.
That's it, right?
I
He'll
mean,
never lose.
there'll never be any passing on.
He'll never lose.
Okay, last story we've got isn't necessarily WrestleMania, but of course, the Hall of Fame is always tied to WrestleMania, and you have some idea of who is going to be inducted in this year's class.
We already know Shawn Michaels is in.
Yes.
They announced this week that Hacksaw Jim Duggan is in.
Okay.
Other people who are going to be named are Abdullah the Butcher,
Okay.
big name in Atlanta.
Yeah.
The Road Warriors,
Okay.
Bullet Bomb Armstrong, his brother.
I remember Bullet Bob.
Oh, Bullet, he was never in there, but Road Dogg
Yeah.
Jesse James is his son,
Okay.
and Scott Armstrong, who mysteriously returned to the WWE as a referee out of nowhere, is going to be in it. And Sonny,
Oh, Sonny, okay.
and some other surprises. Now,
Sting.
Sting popped back up on TNA this week.
So it won't be this year. Not
It
this
could,
year.
it could still be Goldberg. Now, usually the plan is you run that show the Saturday before WrestleMania. On
Yeah,
USA.
usually it's the night before.
Okay, because it became an issue of you telling legends to make a 5-minute speech so we could fit that onto the TV show, the Hall of Fame ceremony will be shown the Monday after WrestleMania, which means
That's Raw.
It's after Raw, so it means you'll have Raw,
Yeah.
the season premiere of Tough Enough, and the Hall of Fame ceremony.
They're burying it at
All
11
the same
o'clock in
night.
the morning.
Well,
Or 11 o'clock at
I'm
night.
assuming that they may do the Hall of Fame ceremony as a lead-in to Raw.
Doesn't sound like you're going to see any more of the Hall of Fame than you ever have
well,
before.
You probably get or maybe they'll start even earlier.
I mean, I, for one, would love to watch a 2-hour Hall of Fame where everybody gets to talk. Instead, what we've had in the past is a 1-hour show where you have someone like Hogan babble for 40 minutes, and then you bring Roddy Piper out for 5, and then the rest of them just show up. Hey, I know, we had these bums here, too.
Well, that was the problem. That was the problem.
They all made speeches.
When you put in Dory and Terry Funk, they told them, you've only got 5 minutes. You can't tell the Funks you've only got 5 minutes. But basically, that's one of the main reasons people buy the DVD, because the whole Hall of Fame ceremony is always included in the WrestleMania.
Well, even then, just to show more of the other speeches.
So you get video clips and a whole bunch of other stuff, because they load up that WWE like crazy.
I mean,
Full nudity?
No,
not with these people.
WWE,
Do you really want to see Abdullah the Butcher nude?
The WWE always makes a big deal about all these people they're inducting into the Hall of Fame, and then they always focus on like 2 of them and short shrift the rest. If they're all important, show us all.
Right. I mean, if you go with the 2 of the people who have been announced so far, you figure Shawn Michaels gets a half hour. And you know you're not going to get a half hour at Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
No. Well, you don't need a half hour, but 10 minutes would be nice. This is my career. You know, this is why I do this. You know,
if he brings that 2x4, starts wonking on people.
But you might get 10-15 minutes on the roadies this time around, and probably 10 minutes on Abdullah the Butcher.
Okay. And that's it. We're done. We're finished. We're out of here. We've got no more wrestling news, but you can go to the store's website. And
if you go to Atlanta, go to Abdullah the Butcher's chicken and ribs place.
And get some chicken and ribs. Yeah. And while you're doing that, go to the store's website, which is at
www.myultimatereality.com. I went there once. Once!
So, stop off at the store's website, check out all his wrestling news, and until next time, this is Comic Book Man
and Bo
saying bye.
Would you rather go to
Alternate Reality is located at 3149 West 111th Street. That's the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in Chicago, the beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood neighborhood. You can always reach us at 773-881-HERO or at the store's website, www.myalternatereality.com.
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.